Alright, I am making yet another video. It will most likely be posted today as well, as I am slowly cutting down some of the other video content that I have for some of the recordings that I have. It is a lot, and I don't know how much of it I will actually keep, how much of it will be tossed, how much of it will be edited. But while I'm going through all of this, I thought, might as well just get the ball rolling. So in my last video, I was saying that a lot has changed. I've been doing a lot of things are different now, and I actually wanted to talk about what they were and what's been happening. So around the time that I took my big break from YouTube, I was going through school and getting towards the end of school. School was being a really hard time for me because in my last week of school, I was facing issues like me potentially failing because one of my teachers, instead of just giving a test, had us do this group project and essentially excluded me out of the group because I was waiting for my opportunity to do something in the class, and it was just this really weird thing that I hated, but I ended up passing and getting through it and never wanted to go back to school after that, especially not that school specifically. I hated that school with a burning passion. Unfortunately, the major I graduated with, woohoo, yay, yeah, I graduated. The major that I graduated with is a pretty cool major, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that I went to school for it, but I can't really do much with it where I am right now. I would have to change states to get the biggest bang out of my buck for it. And if not change states, then at the very least, know some more people, get my foot and a few more doors to really make some money and be sustainable off of what I'm doing. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot that I could be doing to work alongside it, and a lot that I could be focusing right now to make sure that I get what it is that I need. But for right now, I'm planning to go back to that same school for the major that I was doing originally before I swapped. So beforehand, the major that I graduated with worked with cameras and lighting and working on sets and whatnot, but they also grouped it with journalism because where I live, working on cameras and whatnot isn't really a profession, right? If you're working on cameras, it's because you're at a news studio. That's just where it is where I live. So pursuing that heavily here isn't really going to get me anywhere. I tried working at a few new studios because there were some that said that they would hire me by the time that I graduated, but a good chunk of these new studios are hours away from my city, and I would actually have to move down there to live there. And being that I don't have a stable, set of income to live on my own, moving down there isn't going to work, especially when they aren't paying enough for me to do so. So because of that, it would make more sense to find a new studio near me, which I did, and I did apply to some, and I just never got the email back. It probably would have been a bit better to show up there in person, but at the same time, I also already had a job, was moving on to a completely different job, and was waiting to see if the studio would get back to me, and it's as if they just ignored my application altogether. And maybe they got back and checked weeks later, months later, I don't know. After your first week, 2 weeks to month of checking and not getting anything, I just consider it a bust, right? Plus, at the time, I'd found another job. I was on the verge of finding another job. So I ended up finding somewhere else to work that had nothing to do with my major. And I've kind of just been, not hopping jobs, but exploring some different opportunities with jobs during that entire time. So now I am working at a job that helps me more so financially, but has nothing to do with my major. And though it is a pretty decent job for right now, it's not something that I want to be doing in the next 5 to 10 years. So I'm going back to the school that I graduated from to start the major that I started a year to 2 years ago before I swapped. And I'm going to finish that major out Excuse me. And once I finish that major out, I'm either going to get my master's in that major and then just be done with school altogether, and for sure have a definite job, because where I live right now and where I plan on going in the future has jobs for that major for sure. Or maybe I'll end up finding a job for the first major after I've graduated. I was thinking about maybe not going for a master's until much later on, but I won't know until, that opportunity hits. But that's where I've been working school wise. I was actually supposed to start school at the start of this year, January 2025. Some stuff fell through. Scheduling was terrible for like the job that I'm at, and to go back to school, and I don't live in a household where they can, pay for me while I go to school. So I have to try to make things work for myself. So yeah, that's where I've been as far as work and school goes. Outside of work and school, like I said, I've been playing games pretty frequently. So I don't know if anybody remembers, but I was playing a ton of Deep Woken. I was playing a ton of Roblox. That was like my main game for the longest time. I rarely ever made content around it. I didn't really know what to record or what to show. I've got some ideas now that it's been like a year, and I have posted some videos regarding Deep Woken. I'm sure you probably seen them if you've kind of kept up with my channel. But I've been playing a lot more games than Deep Woken, and I have a lot more recorded than just Deep Woken. I used to play a lot of MMORPGs, which would be like Deep Woken, City of Heroes, Champions Online, DC Universe Online, Adventure Quest Worlds, probably Wizard 101, which, I mean, I'm not saying like I probably played them. I've definitely played those games. I just don't know if they would officially be considered, MMORPGs. But I've been all in like the MMORPG space, trying out new games, coming back to old games. Grand Chase came back, so I put a lot of time into that. Put time into Elsword, etc. I've been really jumping around and getting things done. Time has passed, and I'm not into MMOs as much as I used to be. I still do really enjoy playing Deep Woken, but I also play ARPGs a lot more now. So Path of Exile 2, The Last Epoch, Torchlight Infinite, stuff like that. I've kind of more so just been hovering around and putting some more time into Diablo 4. And I've also been playing a little more roguelikes. So hopefully by the time I've gotten majority of these Roblox clips like cut, edited, and posted, I can start showing some more of those other like types of gameplay and games and stuff that I've been doing in those games, friends I've been playing with. And yeah, that will most likely be on my gaming channel, unless like I'm rambling and just need B-roll, in which case it'll be here. But yeah, I think that that's pretty much it as far as like games and stuff that I've just been dealing with as far as school and work goes. Everything else has been more so personal stuff that's just been happening in my own like life, and a piece of me does want to share that out, but I feel like there's a good chunk of things that I need to cut off and cut out and change the names of certain people, etc. And I have been thinking about how I want to do that. I just don't think it'll be anytime soon where I start doing something like it. But that's pretty much it for right now. So I just want to let some people know, in case anybody was wondering. Not dead yet. Got some more stuff that I want to talk about. Got some more stuff that I want to post. I have a ton of things that I want to do and just either haven't made the time for it or haven't found the right people to pursue it with yet. So hopefully it does come into fruition this year. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Eat my balls.